Hey everybody, happy Homebrew Wednesday. This is my first one. I'm pretty excited to finally make a video for it. I've been watching the brew tubers or beer tubers or whatever you want to call them, the other people who do homebrew videos and beer review videos on YouTube, and noticed that there's a thing called Homebrew Wednesday. I don't know how it came about or when it started, but I'm happy to take part. What I thought I would do today, what I wanted to talk about, is how to save money while homebrewing. I know once you get into the hobby, the thing that most people end up doing, what I'm starting to want to start doing, is buy up as much specialty equipment as possible. Get all the cool gadgets. That's not always possible. When I first started, we started simply with a cheap $65 beer starter kit, and I'm still, as I said in some of my other videos, gaining the equipment needed for all grain. I'm still not there yet. I still need a propane burner. I still need a 10-gallon pot this year. But what I want to talk about is how to save some money. So how do you go about saving a few bucks here and there? One of the things I found out is that you can save a couple of bucks with your fermenting equipment. So for instance, rather than buying a better bottle, rather than buying glass carboys, rather than buying buckets, there's other ways of going about obtaining some of these materials. One of the ways, something that I've done a couple of times now, is if you go to the bakery at your local supermarket, just go over to the bakery section, if you have a bakery section in your local supermarket, and you say, hey, do you have any extra buckets that you have? Can I take them? They're more than happy to get rid of these things. They have icing in them usually. It's all food grade plastics, which you know because it's from the bakery. And also you could double check the number on the bucket itself. But if you go back there and you ask for them, they're more than willing to give these things to you for free. You don't have to pay anything. I say 9 times out of 10 it even comes with the lid. I've gotten half a dozen buckets already. The thing, and this is the con about it, the reason that maybe a lot of people don't do this, is that it's unlikely that you're going to get a 6.5 gallon bucket. As you know, if you're doing a 5-gallon batch of homebrew, you really want something a little larger than 5 gallons. A couple of workarounds for that is you can brew a 3-gallon batch, 4-gallon batch. That's usually what I end up doing when I want to use these particular buckets. I use them for soaking bottles in, put some OxyClean with warm water and all the bottles with labels on them, stick them in there for a day, labels come off, wash them off in the OxyClean, spritz them off with the hose. So I use them for that. I use them for holding grain in, and I also, you could put a blow-off tube if you wanted to do a 5-gallon batch and put it in there, but you're going to be probably losing some beer doing that when the yeast ferments the brew and it comes out through the tube. So those are some possible options, and just keep in mind, it's a place to get some free buckets. The other fermenting equipment that I've gotten for cheap, now these aren't free, are water bottles. And there's going to be some controversy over the water bottle thing. The big 5-gallon water bottles that you find at, say, in a office building, for instance, on the water dispenser. What's important, if you choose to do this, is that you have to make sure the number on the little recycle triangle is a number 1. That's the only type of PET plastic that you can use for storing your brew in. The other plastics, there's different reasons why, number 7 is pretty common, number 5 is pretty common. There's reasons that I'm not going to go into right now, but those are not safe to use. They are available though. I found one at my local supermarket, and you have to do some searching for these. It's not always going to be easily available. They're, like I said, more often the number 7s or number 5s. But this one is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but this one is a PET number 1 plastic. So this is acceptable to use for a secondary fermenter, since it's 5-gallon size. It even has a nice little handle on it. So that was like $8, I think, and it came with water. So got a bunch of water and a nice big bottle that I'm going to use actually when I rack over my honey kolsch this weekend. We're going to rack it into that and let it sit for probably 3 to 4 weeks. I wouldn't recommend using that type of carboy for extended aging. So if you're going to do like a lager or barley wine or something that's going to be bulk aged for a very long time, I would probably suggest using either a glass carboy, or which I do have also for the bulk aging, or the better bottles are supposed to be suitable for that. This water bottle that I have here is, I think, probably pretty close to the better bottle, but they claim that the better bottles have a special type of plastic used and a special process. So, I don't want to say that that's not true. It probably is true. Something else that I've found are these Lipton containers. It's a little gallon-sized jug. Comes with iced tea. You buy it for a few bucks, and it's a gallon size. And what I did there is I just drilled a hole into the cap that comes with the bottle, and I stuck one of those rubber grommets in there so I could put an airlock in there. So if I ever want to do a test batch, I can do little test batches fermented in just 1 gallon container. And again, this is a number 1 plastic. You have to look for those little recyclable triangles and make sure that it's number 1 plastic, PET plastic. But if you find that, these are all great to use. So again, some cheap containers that you can use for your homebrew fermenting, and in some cases secondary. I think that's about all I wanted to talk about today, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll probably come back for maybe next Homebrew Wednesday or sometime in between and talk about some more ways of saving money, some other tricks and tips that you can use when you're trying to save a few bucks. And also look forward to another beer review coming up in the next couple of days. Have a great one. Take it easy.